Hello again, folks. Okay, so I have found a rather awesome piece of evidence for us to discuss today, and that is the Stephen Avery lab report. This is the report from the lab that tested the Teresa Halbach vehicle. I'm sorry for the little bit of that I got going on over here right now, but I'm trying to adjust stuff so that I can talk to you intelligently. How am I doing so far? All right, so again, I will include this link to this lab report in the description below so you can see for yourself. But I found a couple of really interesting little things in here that I wanted to talk about. Give me 1 second. Again, toddlers, what can you do? So I wanted to discuss this report. And the thing is that this report, they tested both a 1999 blue Toyota RAV4 and they also tested a 1993 blue Pontiac Grand Am. I'm assuming that's Stephen Avery's car. Now, there's a lot of stuff in this report that is also on the DNA analysis. And we will discuss that in a future video because that document is just dense. Just very dense. But there's some interesting stuff in here. Now, under the sections marked observations, it states multiple blood stains were present in multiple areas inside the Toyota RAV4. Contact or transfer stains. This is where there is blood on a surface, either on a hand or on clothing or something of that nature. Okay. We're going to bust out the anti-MAME for this. So this is where there is blood and it is smeared on the other surface. Now, then there is the passenger seat cushion, which also has a contact or transfer stain. And on the dashboard near the ignition switch, which is also a contact or transfer stain. Now, there's a reason why this is important. Notice you didn't see anything in there about a bloody fingerprint or, any sort of organic bleeding. Active bleeding is what that's called, being the source of these stains. That's important to note when you're thinking of the blood stain near the ignition switch. It basically says in this report that these stains are the result of a bloody source coming into direct contact with those surfaces. You know what, folks? Give me 1 second. I'm going to get a prop. All right, folks. So, for the purposes of this experiment, I have procured from my bathroom a regular cotton swab. What I've also procured from my kitchen, you're going to laugh, but try to keep the chuckles down to a minimum, huh? Is some raspberry jam. All right? Only because I'm almost out of ketchup. My husband eats a lot of sandwiches. Don't ask me why. I cook. The man prefers a sandwich. So, when we're talking about a contact stain, as you can see, I have dipped this in the raspberry jam. We are looking at the transfer from one surface to another. Okay? That's what a transfer stain means. Now, if you'll notice on this particular exhibit, is it just me or does that resemble the blood stain near the ignition switch? Go to the evidence photos. You will see that this is very similar to the blood stain near the ignition switch. You know, I'll give Colburn points for balls, but not for brains. Now, additional contact and transfer stains were present on the passenger side rear seat and on the floor below both ends of the rear seat. Why would that be, folks? I don't remember Brendan Dassey saying anything about either one of them getting in the back seat of that fucking car, putting her in the back seat of the car. Do you? Why would there be blood stains on the back seat? It gets better. A blood stain displaying the characteristics of a passive drop measuring 9 millimeters wide was present on the passenger side rear door threshold. To give you a size comparison on that, my wedding ring, my engagement ring, has a 2-carat stone. This is roughly 9 millimeters in size. So you're looking at a stain about, that big, okay? A passive drop means that there is active bleeding and gravity is worked on that active bleeding to draw that drop down and splash, okay? Since there was no directional, meaning that it wasn't a drop that was happening as the source of the drop was moving, which would indicate a directional spatter. This means that whatever was bleeding was stationary at the time the drop fell. It was fixed. It wasn't moving. The rear storage compartment of the RAV4 exhibited multiple bloodstain patterns. Impact stains with corresponding flow patterns measuring 2 millimeters to 6 millimeters in size were present on the interior panel of the rear door. Impact stains. That means that whatever was bleeding or had the blood on it was moving and it impacted and then came away. You see? That's what an impact stain means. Ooh, I dropped a little bit on my desk. And apparently one of my hairs fell on my desk. Ugh. Casey with a hint of raspberry. Not a good flavor. So whatever made these impact stains was moving. The fuck would be in the back of that car that was bleeding, that was moving and made contact with the rear panel of the door? Because that's what that is. That's the hatchback. What made the impact and then rolled away? That sounds like when you brake and something in the back of your car hits the back panel and comes away when you finish stopping. That's what that sounds like, folks. What was bleeding in that car that made that impact stain? I don't remember anything about Brendan Dassey saying that Teresa Halbach was in the car while it was moving. We're going to talk some more about this in my very next video. Thank you for watching.